So this is a review of the Roborock S5 Max Black Edition. I'm going to take you through it from start to finish, and if you go to the 17-minute mark, you'll see what the maintenance is like after using this for 5 months. So it's the S5 Black, and it comes in white also, and here's the box that it comes in. Clearly marked with the Roborock logo here. We get inside, well packed. You can expect everything to be organized here, and there's a 12-month limited warranty. It runs off of batteries, and this one has the option that comes with it that lets you clean up wet floor spills, wet areas. Has a little mop attachment that goes on it, and it has actually been updated since I did this initial opening, which was 5 months ago. Today is December the 6th. So it used to scan around the room in a logical order, and now it crisscrosses with the new update. Comes with all the stuff you see here, including that wet pad, so it carries water in the tankard with a special solution. So if you have a kitchen floor and you want this thing to go around and mop that up as you go, that will work just fine. And I have to tell you that I don't spend much time with that, and that's because it does such a good job cleaning up with the way it's configured. We don't use the water thing. And it comes with an app, of course, for your phone, free. You gotta log in and get that taken care of. We're going to go over that in this review as well. This is the box, these are the pieces and parts. Here's the docking station with the little contacts there that will charge the battery on your own, and keep these clean once in a while with an alcohol wipe, something like that. Found that it never has problems. And keep in mind, I'm giving you this from the perspective of someone who's had it for 5 months already. These are specs on the battery charger. You have rubber pads underneath. There's a little sticky pad there that you can pull off that cover and stick it to the floor. I did not do that and found that not to be necessary. The unit is actually pretty heavy, so it does a great job, and we're going to show you that too. We're going to do a practical demonstration, and as I mentioned before, at the very end, around the 17-minute mark, we're going to show you the wear and tear on it and what kind of maintenance to do. This is a close-up of the water tank. That's the removing lever right there. Flip that latch, comes right off. Everything on this, by the way, very user-friendly, easy to handle, and I think you're going to find out that you could use this pretty much right out of the box without even going through all the details. That's your fill opening there for your water. And when you connect it into the vac there, there's a little gasket that keeps it from leaking. Connects right in. Here's the pad. Again, it slides out through the side, and you can wash it. And it's pretty self-explanatory there. And as I said, I found that it did such a good job cleaning, I didn't decide in the end that I really don't need this mop function. If you've got a spot on the floor in your kitchen or whatever, just wipe it up by hand. Why send your little vac after it? Because this thing cleans everything up really well. Has a little Velcro hold there. And that's it for that part. And of course, there's a plastic piece here that goes around the dock on the floor so that if it is damp after it's swabbed up your floor and it parks there, it won't ruin your flooring. So those are spot clean, press to return to the dock, and so on. It's all very intuitive. And we lift this lever, and you see there's the dustbin there, and there's a little tool also for cleaning your rollers, for cutting away string and things like that might wrap up on them. That's a little blade in there, and it's got a pick. And of course a little brush to get the dust off of different parts of it. Only goes in one way there. And then when you pull this out, it announces that you removed the dustbin. It's got the little filter in here, which is still doing really well, by the way. I blow it out with low pressure air from time to time. And this whole thing is washable. So very convenient. It's got a little rubber gasket there so it seals up nice when it's running. Pretty well made overall. Not a large capacity though. You're going to want to empty this every time this thing vacuums your floor. And there you can see through. You see the brush and of course the rubber pieces that wipe your floor while it's spinning. So this works really well on thin carpet, thick carpet, and smooth floors. We're going to show it today on smooth floors and how it adapts. Now, adapting to different levels, look at the travel on these wheels here. So if it tips left to right, right to left, it really handles uneven floors and obstacles on the floor extremely well. This is a sensor here. And I'm going to show you at the end how to clean the sensors as well. Part of the review, and this little rubber piece that flips around and gets along the baseboards and up underneath cupboards and washboards and things like that under your chairs. That's holding up really well, and they give you an extra one with it. I found that the rubber pads there on the bottom are more than enough to keep your docking station in place. You do not need to use that adhesive in my opinion. And of course there's a connector for your water so it can do its little spritzing and scrubbing. And of course vacuum up the water that's on the floor as it goes. And the tires are a nice soft rubber, non-marking by the way. They left no marks even on the smooth floor areas. So pretty happy with that. And the physical weight of this thing keeps it in good contact. So the travel, I never noticed the wheels spinning or skidding or unable to make progress no matter what the floor surface was. So that's pretty darn good. And these little wipers hold up extremely well, as long as you keep them clean. That's included in my maintenance demonstration at the end. Little pivot wheel there, and those are the contacts that you want to wipe with alcohol wipes if you have them, just from time to time. So we're going to put this in, not filling it with water. And there's the dock. There it is, plugged into the wall, and it's on, and there's a little blinking light in here that lets you know that it's sending out its signal. And this is the way that your vacuum cleaner is going to find its dock. So it's kind of fun to see this thing scooting around, and I'm going to show that to you, of course, and you're going to get to hear what it sounds like, and you can see how well it cleans. And you're going to find out that your floors just might be carrying more dirt than you think. So you just turn it on, and then if you push the little house button there, that tells it to go home. Now sometimes it takes a little while to find the dock. It zips around left and right. You need to leave space around your dock area so it's not obstructed while it's headed home. But it is fun to watch it go home to its dock, even from the other end of your house, no matter how large your house seems to be. Our house is 80 feet long, and this thing travels everywhere. Goes back, puts itself in the dock, and that's when it, of course, is going to charge itself up. So now the other thing is it came with a decently charged battery. I didn't want to wait to do this initial review, so we didn't even wait for the battery to charge completely up. But part of this review is going to show you that this thing uses very little power to go through your house. You do have some power control settings in the app. So we're running at the standard level here. This is what the Roborock app looks like. They have a low rating, 3.3 if you notice there, and it's got real-time mapping, advanced scheduling, and customizable cleaning, which I really didn't take advantage of. I just turn it on and let the thing do its own progress there through the house, and it charts everywhere that it goes, and it is fun to watch, and you can check in on your phone and see what it's doing even when you're out and about away from home. We've also found that it doesn't get stuck on its own very often, but if it did, if something happened, it will just sit still and shut itself down, and you'll have to go and physically pick it up. So we've got the app installed here, and I'm going to show you just in a very basic way how that gets used. That's version 3.0.4, which as of today, of course, there's a newer version of the firmware. So always update the firmware with any piece of electronics that you're starting out with. And as I said, it changed the floor pattern. So you select your device, and you give it access. I pick while choosing the app only, and that lets it do its positioning. And there it is, the S5 Roborock. So hit that. It is connected to a Wi-Fi network. It does not support 5G Wi-Fi, so you need to go with your 2.4, whatever you're running. And now it's pairing up with your phone, which is pretty easy to do, and it does that, of course, through your home network. And then we want to use it right now because we're doing a review, of course. What good would it be if we didn't use it now? It takes a while to load. And then we've, of course, read the entire user agreement, and we're going to agree to that. And this is what's fun, too. See where it's docked and it sends out its little scan? All those little fans of dark that you see there, that's because couches and chairs and things like that are in the way. So obviously its little scanning system doesn't go around corners. So that's why it has those flared out looks in the scan process there. And we can see with the green light here that it's connected to the Wi-Fi. It's good to go. And there's the on-off button, universal, pretty easy to figure out where that is, right on top.
Starting to clean.
And we hit the start actually with the phone, which you can do while you're away. You headed out somewhere and you said, oh man, I need to vacuum my floor. I'm going to start the vacuum and do that while I'm out at dinner, so when I get home everything will be clean. Now one of the things you want to do is run this through your house, let it do a couple of cycles first before you try to put the mop attachment on. Why? Because your floors are a lot dustier and are carrying more dirt than you ever thought possible. Seeing how this thing goes through your house and collects every little edge, every little detail, it's far more efficient than we are with our own vacuums and mops. I don't care how good you think you are. This is going to shock you when it goes back to the dock and it's finished vacuuming and you look inside that little dustbin. So no big surprise, it works great on smooth surfaces, but I want to see how well it goes over bumps and uneven floors, transitions from carpet to smooth flooring. There's of course a thin carpet, and how well it avoids or interacts with obstacles. And there it goes, so half of it is on a carpet, half is on the smooth surface, and it goes along and just adapts to the floor levels and keeps right on cleaning. And it does this little edge cleaning thing. So remember that that little spinner, those little wipers are only on the right hand side. So this is showing you how loud it is. And the other question you might have is, does that noise bother your pets? And here it's going to go over an uneven transition piece here from tile to flooring to smooth flooring. And it looks like it gets hung up, but what it does is it starts to turn at different angles until it works its way around anything that it bumps into. So that was really impressive. It did not get stuck. Now things like USB cables, really thin wires and things like that could be a problem for it. Normal extension cords, standard thickness wires, they're fine. Look how it went right over that transition. Had problems with these ficus leaves, didn't get many of them. No big surprise there. I didn't expect that it would be able to get that. If they don't fit under it, it's not going to suck them into the little container. And of course you can check in with your phone, see what it's covered, see what it's covering now. And what it does is it saves the areas that it's worked. So you can even schedule different rooms in your house to avoid or to clean. So different times of day you might not want it making noise in the family room or the dining room or the kitchen. Also I found that if you pull chairs out and get them away from the walls and stuff, it'll move through. If your space is as big as the diameter of the unit, a little larger, it'll go right through and clean everything. When it gets to the top of the stairs or something like that, it has downward sensors that tell it not to go off a cliff. So that's good to know too. So these wires are fine. Frayed edges of carpet there. Put that there to see if it would have a problem, get tangled up on those, and no problem there. So there's a firmware update. Always keep it updated, of course. Takes a little while, and it does that through your home Wi-Fi. And that's pretty much it for that first operation. Now let's see what's in the dustbin. You can pick the voice for it and everything else. Cleaning history, maintenance, which is what we're going to look at later on in this video. And the volume, you can turn that up or down. All different languages. The only English language version is a female voice. We call her Greta. And now we look to see, after all the time we've been using it, the filters, the main brush, and see how many hours it's been in use, and then see what cleaning you've done or have not done. So we're going to clean the sensors in this later on. And all the other stuff seems to have lots of life left in it, but look at all the ground it's covered. Look how detailed it is. And so this will show you a lot of history on this thing. And we found that it really leaves precious little behind. So when we pull this dustbin out, look at this. Yeah, we thought the house was clean. This is going to make you very unhappy if you think you've been getting everything. I am astonished by how much dirt and dust and little bits of debris and hair and everything else it collects in this bin. And remember, you want to empty that each time you have it do a full clean of the entire house. You can stop it at any time, of course, and send it back to the station. And then this is the second time it was run through. First time it filled wall to wall in here, so it's a small container. But the second time it collected a whole bunch still. So as I said before, run it through several cycles of dry cleaning before you put the wet mop on.
Dustbin installed.
And of course it has to announce every single thing you do. Dustbin removed, dustbin installed. Here we are in carpet and tile flooring and going through a transition plate. And it's very good at that. No problems. Lifts itself right up, goes underneath the coffee table. If you've got lazy boy loungers, extend the lounger feet. Dog doesn't care, doesn't mind at all, so apparently it's not making super annoying noises, and it's going around collecting up his little dog hairs too while it's at it. So that's not bad at all. Now here we are. Battery level's at 100%, and it says no mop installed. No great surprise. Vacuum power is balanced. Those are your power settings. So now we've got the cleaning history. Look at this. We've done 33 cleaning cycles. All the full cleans, all the dates that it did it, all of the area that was covered. Pretty interesting stuff. So you've got all the history here. Of course, you can clear it, but if you want to do maintenance, you're going to want to know how much it did before it required this maintenance. Look, the filter's down to 84%, the side brush, 88%, main brush, 92%. We're going to clean those, and the sensors. It says you better clean them. Now, I can't tell if it knows you want to clean those sensors based on an impedance of the light going through the sensor, or it's just the amount of time that it's been run, and therefore they have an algorithm that tells you that it has to be cleaned. So the sensors will get dusty after extended use, and then you're going to wipe them clean with this nanofiber cloth. That's what I use. Great for your phone, all surfaces. You don't have to use detergents or cleansers, and you're not supposed to. So look underneath. Keep in mind, this has been in use for 5 months now. Even little stickers are worn, and we've got some string and stuff around this little edge cleaner. So we just use a Phillips head screwdriver, take that off. It's very easy. You just pull these off, clean it up, because of course that can bind and slow down its function. So then we put that back on there, get our Phillips head screwdriver, screw that right back in there. That's back in service, 100% again. And look, after 5 months, there's no wear on this thing. So even though they include a spare, not going to need it. Looks like it's doing really well. Now we look at the main roller. When you pinch these little releases together, you pull the cover plate off of that, pull the roller out, and look, there's a little twist tie there. So these things get stuck. You want to do some maintenance. And the rollers only go in one way. By the way, it'll be very obvious to you which way it goes back in if you forget. It's got some hair and stuff wrapped up on it. And remember, that tool that came with it has a little cutting edge in there, so you can use that to pick these apart if you don't get it out with your fingers. And we're going to pull the ends off here. They're the same pretty much. Very easy to do. Pull the end off, pull anything that was wrapped around away from it. And then we put these little grommets and that little drive wheel back on. And then there you have it. Very simple. Pull it off, get rid of all the stuff that's binding in there, put it back on. And we of course cut away the hair and everything that was wrapped around it, and we're back in service. Put the cover back on, and we're going to see improved cleaning there. So there, how easy is that maintenance? But now we're going to wipe the sensors, right? It seems like a complicated thing to do, only not. You just take your cloth and start wiping the bottom sensors there. And then how do you wipe them on the front, where it senses everything as it's traveling? Well, they're exposed. They're right there. Nothing to remove. You just put your cloth in there, wipe that surface, keep it clean. And nanofiber cloths, by the way, are the very best cloths I've found for cleaning and leaving no streaks or residue behind. And they'll even clean with just water. So highly recommend those cloths. I'll probably put a link to those down in the video description if you want one. And that's it. Of course, we want this thing to look nice and new. Keep in mind, this is how it's looking after 5 months of use, so can't complain. I like it. And as usual, sometimes when it's going back to its dock, it takes its sweet time. Notice it was just a couple inches there from the contacts, but no, she's got to do a round robin, go all over the place, and then decide to come back later. Comes in at an angle. So you always have to leave room around the docking station so that your Roborock vacuum can take its sweet time and head away from it before it comes back. It does eventually, of course, find the dock. And that's pretty much going to be the end of the review. I like it. It runs great. It has never run out of its battery. Never even used half of it during a cleaning. And I would definitely recommend this to anybody that wants their floor cleaned while they sit around and drink coffee or while they're not home. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I invite you to subscribe to this channel for more reviews in the future. Have a great day.